This little model I want to share with you is a model of thinking that will help you solve where you are stuck. Hi guys, Matt Tate here from Fork in the Road. We don't usually deal with the real problem of our thinking. We always deal with the surface issue. But when you understand this model of thinking I'm about to share with you, you can run your life more effectively. So not only that, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you are a therapist of some sort, and someone's stuck on a certain level of thinking, you can actually understand where to solve the problem, which is usually at a higher level. So welcome to the neurological levels of change, or otherwise known as the logical levels of learning. Let's jump right in. Now, firstly, where did this all come from? Well, this particular model was developed by a gentleman named Robert Dilts. He's one of the forefathers of the NLP world, which is neuro-linguistic programming, if you don't know what that means. Basically, the study of how we think and the structure of how we bring information into our mind, store it, and then use it to interpret the world. Now, here we go. Let's jump into the Robert Dilts model of logical levels of thinking or neurological levels of thinking, depending on which way you go about it. Now, probably a nice simple way is to think about a person who maybe wants to drink less alcohol. Let's think about that as a context, right? And so you've got this person, they want to drink less alcohol, they're drinking too much. Instead of it being a 6-pack a week of beers, they're having a 6-pack every night, or maybe a whole slab of 24 cans, whatever it might be. They want to drop their alcohol, if not cut it out altogether. To understand where to approach this, we need to understand the person. Because logically, you just say, just stop it. Just stop going to the places where you drink. That would bring up our first level of thinking, and that is environment. Just stop going to the pub, stop going to the bar, stop going to that place that you go to. You've fixed up your environment. Don't hang out with all of those people in those places. Simple. But yet the person keeps drinking. So obviously the environment was not the right level of thinking to approach this problem. Okay, so they're still drinking. What else can we do? Oh no, let's look at their habits. Or their behaviors. So we've got them sorted now. We've got their habits, we've got their behaviors, we've got them all sorted. We're telling them no more going to the bottle shop, and going collecting the beer, or no more going to the pub and to the bar and catching up with your buddies. Just stop it. Stop those habits. And let's say we did something to help them stop that habit, but then just a little while later, back on the sauce. So we haven't solved the problem. So we've checked out the environment. They're not going to the bar anymore. We've checked out some habits and we've reduced some habits, but they came back. So we haven't fixed it yet. There's something else going on. The next one could be skills and capabilities. I'll change my color. Skills and capabilities. Now, with skills and capabilities, we could give them some different things to do. We could give them some skills to help them overcome whatever craving they're having. or maybe give them something. It depends on why the person is drinking. So let's say we think, okay, we've identified that this person is drinking because they've got a broken heart, or because they had something happen that is, troubling them. And okay, that's the thing I'm going to sort out. And let's say you sort that thing out theoretically. And you've given them the skill. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's deep breathing, maybe there's something else. Maybe you went to a responsible service of alcohol course. I don't know, whatever. You've given them some new skills that are supposed to help, but it keeps on happening. They keep on slipping back to that drinking. And so skills and capabilities, this level hasn't fixed the problem. That leads us to another level of thinking, and that is beliefs and values. All right, so if we can find something of value to that person, or if we can find a belief where they start to believe they can do it, and we'll help them with some skills and capabilities, and we'll help them with their habits and their regular things they're doing, their behaviors, and we'll help them with their environment, but we're going to get them believing in themselves. Now surely we're going to stop drinking. We're all good. Or maybe you find something they value more than the habit of going to the pub, the bar, the place where you get on the jars, whatever it might be. Where is that level of thinking? And we think we've solved it. Let's say we've done some neurological process through NLP or hypnotherapy. You've done something, you've zapped them, and we're all good. But it keeps on happening. We've missed something. We have definitely missed something else. And that brings us up to the top of the tree here. Identity. If they are saying to you, I am just a drinker and I've always been a drinker, my family was always drinking, I'm always going to drink. We have to go and work on that. That's the area identity, that if you figure that out, you can solve this problem. But what this then identifies in the identity is that it's not just one belief or one value. There might be 20 beliefs or 10 beliefs or 10 values that are fulfilling this identity. And if we can get in and destabilize a few beliefs, or if we can find a value that helps to shift that identity, you can start to cascade down and change all of this. And you can change, the person will automatically start to change their skills because they've got a belief, or maybe I can do it. And they'll start working on the skills needed to drink less alcohol. They'll start thinking about their capability and think, I could actually do this, because they've got some help. They've got the right people. They've actually found the right environment. And then they might actually start to form the right habit because they're in the right flow and the right behaviors spit out, which is that not drinking as much, perhaps not drinking at all, or a lot less. And then they might find a different environment. So maybe they might find a sport, but a sport where there's not a drinking culture, of course. And they might find a sport where maybe people just don't drink. And that will then also, if they're playing some sport like that, where there's a habit of getting fitter, losing weight, eating differently, living a different life, surrounding themselves with a better quality of people, which is partly your environment, is the people you're around. They are your environment. And then, of course, with that, as you build up, skills and capabilities start to happen. Belief changes, and then over time, the identity starts to shift. And so this is the level where you're starting to work. But you might notice that there is this extra little bit at the top here. And that extra little bit at the top is a higher level again. And this is where people can do amazing things. Where if you find a purpose or some spiritual thing that really fires them up, or it could be beyond themselves, but it's really important. I'll put the word purpose here. Some people have it as spirit, and we're not talking religion, we're talking more as something just deep inside you, or it might be beyond the identity, basically. And so you're moving beyond identity and you're into something that's bigger and more important. And for some people, that could be their kids. Their kids are a driving force that changes all of this. And other people, it's not their kids, it might be something else. But if you can find in here by investigating over here, you can start to work on that person's identity. You get to the identity, you get to shift some of that, and you can shift this identity one quality at a time. And that's where this is now a clue. This is like a Google's map search. This is the search that's going to help you overcome that person's problem. Because if you're in the field of, say, NLP, for example, neuro-linguistic programming, there are 1,000 different tools that will help you overcome these problems. And so if somebody says, I'm just a drinker, and you try and just say, don't go to the pub anymore or the bar, you haven't solved the problem. They'll be drinking at home. You've got to jump up here and figure out what their language is saying to give you a clue as to which tool to use. And so within the field of NLP, for example, or self-directed healing, or hypnotherapy, or pick your source, whatever it might be, or life coaching, there's a whole lot of things in here. So for example, if it was habits and behaviors, or skills and capabilities, or environment, these three here, maybe we'd be going to a thing called the GROW model, which is where you would be more logically looking at things. But if there's no movement happening in here, well, we better jump up here to beliefs. And of course, in NLP, we have a belief change, and we have values elicitation, and then we have threshold values, and then we have a whole bunch of other things that will help a person where we can lift up a value from lower to higher, depending on what result they're after. Now, when you start doing this, it starts to shift the identity. And there are a whole range of tools. And what this is my Google map search. This is my little blue line. I make a wrong turn. I realize, oh, I've been talking here. I should have been talking here. Or I've been talking here. I need to talk here. Because what happens is, you get the identity right, everything trickles downhill from there. It's like a waterfall, and it fills up the next pool, the next pool, the next pool, and the next pool. But if you try changing it here and there's no water at the top for that issue, that person will not change. Now think about this for yourself. You can change you. Now you think about a problem, and this is a clarifying thing. I went through this myself. I recently did a GROW model with a group of friends, and they took me through as a practice session using this GROW model. And for me, it was about getting more organized around running my events. This Robert Dilts model. And I discovered, all right, what is it I need to do? And I worked my way through the model. And so I looked at my environment. Well, when I'm promoting an event, where do I put it? Like, who wants what I've got? I want to make sure it's serving someone who cares. And so I'm thinking, all right, the environment for me might be Facebook groups, right? Finding on Facebook groups where I might put it. It might also be surrounding myself with people who have already done it. So maybe I need to go and find a mentor. Or maybe I need to go and find a group of people who have already done this and they've connected with the people out there. So it's like, find some people, like-minded people. So then I jumped up to habits and behaviors. And that's when I thought, well, I'm going to write myself a little checklist so that I know where I'm at for any particular event, which is normally just like a little, 60-minute workshop, or a half an hour meditation, or a 90-minute seminar where I'm showing people how they can use their mind to change how they're feeling and have different results in their life. And so I thought, all right, well, what are the habits? What are the habits I need to be able to promote and share this stuff for free? Well, the habit I need to have is I need to be consistent. So I'd like to be more consistent. I'd also like to be a little bit more systemized, not just kind of, oh yeah, post there. Oh, there's an idea, pop that in there. I want it to be a bit more systemized. So I'm going to say, write down a system or a checklist, just a simple checklist. Just a simple checklist for myself. That's it. And so then I thought, okay, I've got my habits and behaviors. I'm perhaps posting regularly, and I can write this out a little bit more thoroughly, but you're getting a sense of this. And then we've got to look at the skills and the capabilities. Well, I know nothing about writing Facebook posts. I know nothing about, trying to connect with that audience. And so the skill might be learning what my audience wants. So let's say the capability is learning what people want. Which means that I'm going to use language that's useful to them. So this is for me, but I want you to think about yourself as I'm going through this. I want you to think about where you've got a problem, and you can start to go through this process. Start asking yourself, well, what's the environment? What are the group of people I'm around? What's the situation? And how is that serving me or not serving me? And then go through the habits and behaviors. All right, what are the habits and behaviors I'm doing right now? And what do I need to have? Really powerful. And then the skills and capabilities. What is the skill I need to have right now? Well, for me, I need to learn what people are thinking, and I need to build the skill of writing things and recording videos that are useful to people. Not just what's in my head, but what people want. So connecting with the problem. And there's a whole skill set to that, which I can get into. And the capability, if I start to believe in myself up here, if my skill and my capability is growing. And you've got to chip away at that if you're logically building this up. And then we get to belief. All right, what beliefs are not serving me at the moment? Do I have a belief that, I don't know, it's hard to connect to people? Well, I need to change that belief because there's plenty of people doing it. It's hard to get people to come to a seminar. Well, it's not hard if you serve them with great value for free. It's not hard at all. And so I'm going to say, if you've got a negative belief, you've got to do something about that and convert it to a positive belief. And you don't do that in 5 seconds normally, but within NLP, you can very quickly tweak neurologically a belief. It's called belief change, and there's a range of other methods. But what is the belief? Now, here's a good one. What about the values? All right, this is where I started to get super clear about mine, and you would get super clear about yours. If you start to think, well, what's important about doing these events? For me, connection. I'm connecting with people. For me, every time I run an event, I learn so much because I'm teaching it, and I make sure I know it before I teach it. And so, like this video right now, I must have watched 40 different videos. I've read articles. I've then tried it on myself. And so before I did this video, I made sure that I had tested this out thoroughly. And so I get to grow. I get growth, which is my number one. You give me growth, mate, I am excited. So you got connection and growth I'm getting out of this. Oh, okay, that starts to get exciting. And so as I'm becoming, around like-minded people, I've got myself a mentor. I've got Facebook groups which are really nurturing and supporting me. I've got different behaviors where I've got a consistent way of approaching in a really heart-centered way. I've got a system and a checklist to make sure I'm being, more proactive. I then get to my skills and my capabilities where I'm learning what people want, and I've increased these skills by doing more courses or doing things that bolster this new event business that is being set up. Then I get to beliefs and values. Well, if I've got a negative belief, I need to sort that out and build up a positive belief. But you're going through this process, you're actually going to start to bolster some beliefs naturally. And the values. Oh, if you could find a value that you value, like for me, connection and growth, it starts to get excited. And then I got to identity. Well, who am I going to be? Who am I? And the word I am is the powerful statement. If you hear your client say, I am this, I am that, I'm just a this, and I'm just a that, you go straight to identity. And you can start investigating between belief, identity, values and identity, figure out what their special source is, because when you get the way they've structured it, you can get them to question about that identity. If someone says, I'm just a drinker. Well, no, behavior is a drinker. You can start to bring the language down here. It's just a habit. That's all it is. It's not who you are. And, you can start playing with people's identity. Drinker might be a bit harder, but there's lots of examples where you can start to question by showing them what they've deleted about all the good things they do in their life. And so if someone says, I am identity, I want to be, for me, as I've worked up to this, think about what you do want. Well, I want to be someone who runs events and changes people's lives. I want to change people's lives for the better. For the positive. Oh, that's what I want. I want to see people's lives shifting. I want to see them becoming proactive, empowered, figuring it out for themselves by just attending the workshop and taking their own brain through the process to figure out, that's why I do that. Now I know I can change that. That excites me. And so I want to be that guy who does very, very effective events. I am someone who runs events that changes people's lives. But then it goes beyond that. There's something deeper that went beyond that really hit home with me. And up here, what that was, something that's driving this that I can remind myself, and that is finding my tribe. As you can see, finding my tribe is kind of at the heart of why I'm doing this. I'm finding my tribe of people who are proactive in wanting to help themselves, who are keen to learn these methods I want to teach, who are actually have problems that are worthwhile solving, and who are stepping forward. And so finding my tribe of people who, as we go back down this, we start to see some clues on what might fire me up to continue these environments, these habits, and these skills. And so as we come back down, if I say I am someone who changes people's lives for the better, and I'm hence looking for people who want to change their lives for the better. And if I'm looking for connection and I'm looking for growth, I want people who want to connect and people who want to grow. I don't want people who want to be a hermit and stay stagnant, right? They can, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them, right? So I want those kinds of people in my seminars, in my courses, the people who are looking for solutions, looking for a way forward, looking for a better life. I'm looking for people who want to learn as I'm learning what people want, and they can learn what's inside of them, because often a lot of people don't know what they want because there's a value inside of them they haven't found yet. Well, within my coaching, that's what I do. I help people figure out what is their purpose and help them get over that, because that is also the heart of anxieties. That's the heart of, following other people who say you should do this and you should do that. That's because you don't have enough sense of self. That was my problem too. So much in this, it's so powerful. And then you come down over here and we look, all right, if you've got a negative belief or a positive belief, let's deal with them. Let's focus on the positive belief and let's kick out the legs from underneath the negative belief, because it's not necessarily true. Often, all up here is just a story. Now, if your story is empowering, keep it. If your story is not empowering, don't keep it. Pretty simple, right? And so then we come down to values. If you value something and you know what it is, oh my God, you can change your life forever. You focus on that and say, hang on, every time I'm a little bit tired and I don't want to do the habit or go to the right environment, hey, I'm getting this value that's important to me, to you, to everyone. And so then we come down to skills. And you're thinking, all right, well, what did I say over here? Learning what people want, and that's a whole skill set. I can go off and do a course on that tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of things I could do. Reaching out and asking people, very simple, right? What do you need and want? And I'll connect these skills to your problem, solution, and the benefit of it. Really simple, right? So it starts to build momentum for me as a person. And you can apply this to your life too. Remember, keep yourself in mind with this. What is your problem? What is your context that you can go up and down this cycle. And there's some processes for this. That might be another little seminar. That might be another seminar. And then we come down to habits. So I had consistent systems and checklists just to get myself from being so wishy-washy with posting here and posting there. I feel like it here. No, actually find out what people want, when they want it, and give them the message when it's appropriate. You know, that's very basic. And then we come down to environment. Hanging around like-minded people, finding mentors that I resonate with, and Facebook groups that I resonate with. And there's plenty of them. And so we've now got some places to work with. Now I got to the end of this and realized, oh my God, I'm trying to find my tribe. That's what I'm doing. And not just in a business sense, in a connection sense, these people are like-minded individuals. And so I hope this serves you as I try to find my tribe. Maybe I should change my business name to Tribe Hunter or something. My name's Matthew Tate. This is Fork in the Road. Have a marinade on this. Have a marinade on the logical levels or the neurological levels of change. It can change your life. If you're setting a goal, you might be thinking in the wrong level. You might need to jump up a level. One thing to note in this, and there's a lot more to it, but in here, this is a clue on where to do the work, and it's also a clue on which tool to use in the field of NLP. So if you're a coach, and you're an NLP coach like I am, this became really clear that this is my Google Maps search on what to do with a client. And it's your Google Maps search on what to do with yourself. Fix your environment, tidy up your habits, work on your skills, work on your beliefs and values, establish what your identity is. Who are you? What I am statements are you making? Build a different identity, one quality at a time, and figure out what your spirit or your purpose is really yearning for. You do that, and all of this becomes easy. Cycle up and then cycle down, and it becomes really clear where to do the work. What's the big one that's blocking someone? Where's the problem in the thinking? And then jump a level above it, and it will fix the one below it. My name's Matt Tate. This is Fork in the Road, and I hope you've enjoyed my little tour around the neurological levels of change, or the logical levels of change by Robert Dilts.